Hello and Assalamualaikum. Welcome back to IIUM FM, your campus radio with me, Fakiha. And you guys are listening to IIUM FM, your campus radio. So hopefully our listeners are having a wonderful day as we are currently in the 11th week of this semester. And in conjunction with the Communication Festival 2025, this is our special episode titled Future of Radio Broadcasting, Will Traditional Radio Sustain? So today we are honored to be joined by one of the industry leaders who know the heartbeat of Malaysian radio like no other, which is Mr. Nazri Noran. He is the CEO of MPA and also president of CRM. MPA stands for Media Prima Audio, while CRM stands for Commercial Radio Malaysia. So welcome to our little and humble station.
Alhamdulillah, thank you for having me. Such a nice studio and quite cool.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. So thank you so much for your time with us today. So to those who are not familiar, MPA stands for Media Prima Audio. Again, one of the Malaysia leading media companies where MPA manage several popular stations like Hot FM, Fly FM, Cool 101 and also others. While CRM stands for Commercial Radio Malaysia that promotes and advocates the highest standards in commercial radio broadcasting and professional practices. So Alhamdulillah, we will be having a really good session with Mr. Nazri Noran. So I would like to proceed with our first question, which is, from your perspective as the CEO of Media Prima Audio, how has the landscape of radio broadcasting evolved in Malaysia over the past few years?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor for me to share a little bit of insights on our beloved radio industry. Great question. Radio actually has evolved from a passive one-way medium to multi-platform interactive experience. And also because technology, as you see it today, is ever-changing and very fast. Yeah? Malaysia itself, listeners are very much digitally engaged. They are tuning in through apps like Audio Plus on our platform, smart speakers, social media, live streams, and all sorts. And MPA, Media Prima Audio, also is also leading the shift on digital-first content, such as social integration, Malaysia's first AI DJ, which we have done for Fly FM. We are blending the technology and also the human creativity. So radio is no longer about airwaves. It's about community, storytelling, and real-time connection. Accessible anytime, anywhere. So hearing, but also seeing is very important nowadays. So that's the landscape of our broadcasting in Malaysia.
I see. Alhamdulillah. So technically, radio is no longer just where you listen to the radio, the traditional radio is now integrated with the recent evolving era. So thank you so much, Mr. Nazri. So before we go deep into our topic, let's take a break for a few minutes and stay with us on IIUM FM, the campus radio. Hello and Assalamualaikum. Welcome back to IIUM FM, your campus radio with me, Fakiha. And you are back with our exclusive interview, which is Future of Radio Broadcasting, Will Traditional Radio Sustain? So we have touched on where the radio stands now, but let's talk about where it is heading. So I would like to proceed with the first question for this segment, which is, with the rise of podcasts and on-demand content, how is CRM supporting commercial radio station to stay relevant and competitive?
Thank you for that question. It's an interesting situation now for CRM, Commercial Radio Malaysia. Since I've taken helm as a president for 2 years now, there has been tremendous change. Obviously, we know for a fact that you cannot. Basically, everywhere you go, you see podcasts. Now, for CRM, we have members. We have 18 members, council members under CRM, but we have 26 radio stations. We help to navigate the new landscape. Now, we advocate with MCMC, which is holding our license and all that, but also regulation for policy reforms to support audio streaming rights. Also organizing workshops, talent upskilling in podcasting, social content, and cross-platform audio. Also, we are creating the awareness among advertisers that radio is not dying. It's evolving into something more engaging and measurable impact.
Indeed.
So podcasts, they are not our competitors. They are part of the audio ecosystem. So many radio talents, as you see and you know, they host also radio podcast hybrids. Even ex-radio announcers, now they have their own podcast platform. They're extending the content shelf life. That's how we see it. So it supports the ecosystem altogether. Even for us, we have the version of podcast for our radio shows. Meaning if you've missed the live show, then you have the extended version of it on platforms. Those are, opportunities for us to expand further in terms of what carrying for content, but specifically talking about anything and everything that is happening in our industry, in our country, be it lifestyle or anything related to even religion. So stuff like this people want to know. I guess what you see here is the trend that, not to say that people don't like to read, it's just another option for them to multitask, to listen to something that is informative and get knowledge. Sometimes hearing it is a bit more different than just reading alone. Spoken words lah, we say spoken words.
Get the
as long as,
information and etc.
And the most important thing about podcasts also is that you need people who can really talk. And they are knowledgeable. That's very important. Kalau you pandai cakap pun, you tak ada benda nak cakap, then susah juga kan.
Betul.
But you're knowledgeable, you need to know how to communicate, how to deliver, how to ensure that everybody is like macam, I faham apa you cakap tu. I need to get to know more information. How do you relate to me who doesn't understand what's going on in the world today? How do you put that together? Like for a certain person, I don't understand about finance. But how do I deal with this? So you get people who are into finance
and
yang pandai
able
tahu,
to explain.
to explain. Tapi you connected to people macam benda yang simple lah, in simple terms. Kadang-kadang you get too technical pun orang tak faham macam apa benda ni, how do I do it kan. So it's also important. It's great. It's a great connection to another platform like this to connect with people who are like maybe they have too many things going on, but they just want to find specific things to just understand better. Kadang-kadang kita membaca, maybe kita tak faham lebih lanjut macam mana nak elaborate that into text ataupun context of a real person talking to you.
Betul.
Macam tu lah.
I see.
I think it's great to have podcasts. It's one of the things yang it's important for us to be relevant. But as you know, podcast pun bagus juga because it comes from, I think the word podcast pun you tahu that comes from where kan? iPod, broadcast.
Betul.
It's a creation of Apple lah, Steve Jobs lah, you say lah. I mean, but this thing was created like long time ago. But podcast sticks. Kan? So it's just another form of radio actually. Cuma dia tak live lah.
Betul.
Dia long form. Dia focus on certain topics. More two-way connection between the guest and that person or professional that person. It's not live. It can be live, but at this moment it's not live lah.
People prefer to like rewatch it sometimes if it's interesting.
But Malaysia, it's very visual-based podcast.
Betul.
Throughout the world, berbeza sedikit. Mungkin lebih kepada audio broadcast.
Saja.
Tapi Malaysia ni kalau tak nampak muka tak boleh, rasa lain sikit.
Tak nak engage sangat.
Tetapi benda tu is a good trait. Sebab you know why? Radio ni it started from more audio kan, bercakap saja. So everything you say you kena explain dengan cara word of mouth tau. Kalau you cakap tapi gerak-geri badan you ke apa semua orang tak nampak, orang tak boleh relate.
Betul.
But that's the art of it. Tetapi podcast ni, kalau you cakap benda yang sama tapi benda tu you berdasarkan visual, kalau orang dengar tak faham. Sebab you mungkin react to something that you buat muka tapi I tak nampak. Then there's no point kan.
Betul.
So the challenge is always about somebody yang pandai elaborate ataupun being very descriptive bila bercakap. then I can imagine bila I dengar benda tu, visualize it in my head.
Setuju.
Kalau you buat visual saja,
People
okay lah.
can like see what's behind the scene.
Yes. So even kalau you dengar podcast melalui dekat Spotify pun, I'm sure you know people have Spotify account,
Yes.
right? Kalau you dengar podcast pun, you ada vision yang audio ataupun video. Kadang-kadang I suka dengar audio version so that I boleh buat benda lain kan.
Yes.
I boleh pergi gym buat exercise ataupun buat benda lain. Tapi I akan dengar audio tu, but it's more fulfilling. I can understand. Kalau orang pandai buat, bercakap ataupun explain in terms yang I boleh visualize sendiri, that's good.
Betul. Setuju.
Tapi kalau I have to see it, then it's like okay, it's taking my time. Sebab podcast ni 1 jam 2 jam.
Yeah.
Do I have 1 hour 2 hours to actually watch it? Itu je lah kan. So it's preference to certain people.
Betul.
Yeah.
Indeed. I mean, like sometimes it's not just about we having the knowledge to tell people, but it's we have to know how to deliver it to the audience. We have to know our audiences in order for them to understand our messages.
Yes.
So yeah, moving on to another, it's not controversial, but something that is interesting, where AI generated announcer are becoming more common. So I would like to know, in your view, is radio likely to transition fully to digital platforms in the near future? So like, if so, what would that transformation entail in terms of content delivery and audience engagement?
Great. I mean, this is not new lah. Everyone is talking about AI.
Yes.
I can say more than half is scared of it, but it's also an important subject matter that you have to understand. How can we take it forward? But can we not deny it? We cannot. It's there, right? So, like for us, we are already in that transition untuk MPA. Kita dah buat AI DJ. We complement, not replacing humans.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's one of the key things you must understand. Of course, when we launch AI DJ, Aina, 2 years ago was our plan when AI just started to come into play in the world. And then everybody was like macam, wow, you're replacing my job. Even internal kita punya team pun, our announcers pun, will you be replacing me? Everyone is scared.
Yes.
Now understand the concept first. AI is to make your life easier and be more efficient, so that you can do more things and be more productive, kan? That's what we're trying to do. So yes, it's a scary thing, it's a scary thought, but there's so much of potential here. So at MPA, our AI DJ, it can become multilingual, right? If I create another version of you, but I create an AI version of that, I can change it to different languages, right?
With the same voice.
Yes, and always on. That means I can get her or him
On
to
air.
operate for the next 12 hours pun non-stop. Boleh, tak ada masalah, right? It helps us to scale content. But our listeners, they still want to have relatable human stories, human and emotion. That's where you come in. That's where we come in. That's where, you know, that connection is still important. We make mistakes. It's human error lah. Benda tu yang membuatkan seronok nak mendengar.
Betul.
Kadang-kadang we laugh at ourselves. That's important, you know. How do you get AI to laugh at themselves?
No.
Kan, susah kan? If I laugh at myself, you enjoy it, right? Because I make fun of myself, it's okay lah. I'm not making fun of you. Kalau I make fun of you, kalau you boleh terima, tak apa. Kalau you rasa tersinggung, rasa macam you marah lah kan? That's another thing. But that's the emotion, the connection that we still have. That is our advantage, right? So digital platforms like our Audio Plus, it also allows us to personalized content and also track listener behavior. So we are doing that. It's also a key leap from traditional reach-based metrics. Whether it's going to have a full transition for AI, not
sure.
immediately. Not immediately. I'm not saying it will never, but not immediately. Based on where we are going now, kan? A hybrid future is more likely lah.
It's like combining both.
Yes. One thing you must understand is also being more efficient.
Indeed.
This means that what else can we do with AI that we cannot do with humans? But one thing for sure, humans, there's still that connection that kita kena ada. Humor, emotions.
The connection.
That connection tu is important. That locality.
Yes.
Kalau I ni contohnya daripada say Kelantan lah kan, I speak that lingo apa semua, I can do that immediately. But the rawness of that, the feel of that, only I would know. Kan AI rasa macam lain sikit lah. It's not that complex yet. Traditional plus digital, AI plus human, that type of hybrid, that is immediately that we can look forward to. But how? I think this is something that not just our radio industry, but every industry should look at how to implement it.
Indeed.
For MPA, we are the first to do it, and we are proud of it. We got Malaysia Book Records for it.
Wow.
We are doing more for it already. Not just AI DJs, but also behind the scenes to operate in automation, to be more creative. Buat what AI cannot do, benda-benda macam kalau kita buat ada on-ground activation.
Yes.
AI mana ada.
Betul.
We still need to have the human punya ni kan, manpower. So we need to have that connection juga. So those are the things that we still can do that needs human touch that AI cannot do. Maybe AI boleh duduk dekat dalam studio, tapi still need somebody to prompt untuk jaga. In terms of automation, belum boleh lagi.
Betul.
Not to say that it cannot be done in the future, but I mean the of
Not
course,
immediately.
not immediately, but it needs to have a hybrid. That hybrid, yes, you have to adapt. How? I think it leaves to the imagination of the future lah. Maybe you are the future. You're gonna think about your generation in the next 5 to 10 years. What do you think is AI going to do?
Yes.
Possibilities are endless kan? So for now, we are hybriding all this information, all this technology into our business, and we are doing that already now, and we are improving it further and further. Inshallah.
Indeed. So that is the key takeaways is that people need to realize that AI will never be able to replace humans' ability to connect with their emotions, feelings, and etc. But it's important because it is something that lives within us. So we have to complement our lives with those technologies. So thank you so much. And it looks like we are getting more lively. So I hope our listeners are engaged in our session. So therefore, I would like to let's have a short break and stay tuned with us on IIUM FM, a campus radio with me. Hello and Assalamualaikum. Welcome back to IIUM FM, your campus radio with me, Fakiha. And you're still tuning in with us, our favorite campus. So I hope our listeners are still energetic enough to pay attention to this insightful program. So I would like to proceed with the next question, which is, how can campus radio be empowered to become creative, innovative spaces that preserve the art of life, human-driven broadcasting? So yes.
Okay, campus radio is a good start for anyone who wants to venture in this industry, but media overall lah. And I say this a lot to many students before, and even I have given talks to quite a few. Campus radios are the nurseries of future broadcasters.
Yes.
Kiranya pre-internship lah of the internship itself, and Malaysia has an immense untapped talent. There's other things that we could propose and could look into, like mentorship programs with national radio brands, content collaboration. Student can show feature on national apps like the Audio Plus and many others. We can do joint campaigns and technical support from CRM, which we have spoke about in the last 1 year with the members. It's something that we are exploring into and to see how we can do more of that. And even myself personally, as a president of CRM, but also CEO of MPA, to get involved in campus radio or even in universities to just talk about the broadcasting industry itself overall, right? And basically share the do's and don'ts lah. These are the things that is good information for people who aspire to do that.
Yes.
So the goal is to preserve the soul of live broadcasting. Also while introducing the students to digital tools and professional workflows. At the end of the day, what we want to achieve here is that to see the form of this platform, this medium that we are in, how interesting it is, because I believe many people, if you haven't been to a radio studio, don't know how it operates. Always listen to it on a speaker.
Yes.
But when you actually see it, it's like, oh wow, this is how it works. Because Media Prima Audio, we have moved to a new setup in Bangsa. New studio started in February this year. Pretty much everything is as new and as integrated to digital platform as possible. Even if it's sustainable. according to the sustainability program. And also very visual. Lighting pun cantik. Bila ambil gambar, letak dekat IG, TikTok apa semua kan, it's just nice ambience kan. So those are the things that when we do it, we design it based on the needs of the generation now, the technology that we have now. Simple, modern, but looks great also on visual rather than just the operation wise as for studio setup. So those are the things that will entice students, new generation in terms of campus radio that we can do to do the reach out. And there's many things that we can do, but at least top of mind, those are the things that we can advance into. There are some situations that we have already done individually as radio companies. We have reached out to certain universities on our own, but as CRM, there's things that we are planning in the future. Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. Alright, so with that, moving on to the next, which is interconnected, which is campus radio is of course one of the ways to instill interest in radio production among youth. So I would like to know, is there any initiative for strengthening and preserving this entity to preserve radio broadcasting?
We have spoke about under CRM to adopt a campus initiative, pairing with established stations with university radio campus. Some of them have gone directly and initiated themselves. Stuff like we are working on content sharing pipelines, where stand-up campus radio shows can go live on professional platforms. We welcome that. You know, we welcome people like yourself and your team to try out our setup, our broadcast setup, and to see how you can learn a trick or two.
I see.
Workshops, contests, even internship fast tracks are part of our roadmap to strengthen this ecosystem. I believe we are open to anything that the campus radio would like to have more in terms of the exposure for the industry itself. We are also support the push to diversify radio talents across region, languages and perspectives. So we don't just look at kiranya orang yang well trained. There's no such thing as well trained. You just have to know and have that knowledge behind the voice and can carry sort of called conversation, and this is very important sebab kadang-kadang kan people say, oh, I'm introvert, I'm extrovert. Kadang-kadang orang yang extrovert ni confident level tinggi sangat, but when you put a mic in front of you, it's like terus kejang. What do I say? That is a real challenge tau. Memang betul. I've seen so many people have that. Cakap, oh, I pandai bercakap apa semua. Then when you actually get in front of the mic, so,
you don't know what to say.
Okay, I don't know what to say. Macam, okay, where do I start? Benda yang I dah plan semua tiba-tiba hilang.
Betul.
So it's that nerve lah. These are real stuff. Especially when you talk on live radio.
Yes.
Live radio ni is not as easy as you think.
Betul.
You may not see who's listening to you, but the challenge is that you have to imagine that there's thousands and millions that's listening to you. And that's always the case lah.
Yes.
But if you know how to connect, people will give you that straight impact.
Indeed.
So that's the beauty of social media. Immediately orang boleh bagi feedback, boleh bagi komen. They see you outside, it's like, hey, I heard your show this morning. Oh, you cakap pasal benda ni apa semua. I totally, in tune with that. Thank you for giving me, a good feeling today.
Yes.
I boleh buat kerja ataupun go to my college campus and do my work apa semua kan. All that. That's a great thing to have. You may not get it immediately, but when you do get it, it's an eye opener or ear opener to many people. So that's important. That's the thing that we love to do. We are open to any suggestions. We love to help because at the end of the day, the new generation is great for us. It will honor us to get the next generation of talents in the future.
Indeed, inshallah. Alright, so technically to those who are listening, you can get that CRM is actually providing chances and opportunities for you to participate in them, in their broadcasting system. So inshallah, Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for your insights because we are near the end. Therefore, before we go into our last session, let's take a break for a few minutes before we move into our last slot for today. So stay tuned for the news, music, and entertainment only at IIUM FM, a campus radio. Assalamualaikum and welcome to IIUM FM, your campus radio, with me, Fakihah. Alright, so as we reach the final part of today's session, we would like to reflect a little bit. So campus radio are more than student projects. They are breeding grounds for the next generation of broadcaster. Therefore, with our last question would be, in your view, what will define the survival or success of traditional radio broadcasting in the next 5 to 10 years?
Thank you for that question. Okay, so the key factors that will define the survival and success is it's engagement over listenership. That's the key. It's how audiences interact matters most than how they tune in.
Indeed.
Hybrid content, like I said earlier, you have to hybrid with the AI technology. How is something that you have to decide on how to do it. But hybrid content of live, on demand, podcasts, and AI, all formats must coexist.
Indeed.
That you cannot deny, right? Personalization powered by data, and this is very important. You have to know your audience deeply.
Indeed.
Just like Spotify and TikTok does. Right? This is important. You cannot just do one size for all. That does not work anymore. What's important is if a radio station focuses on the community of a certain state or a certain group of people, then you focus the content based on that. Localization, hyper-localization as much as possible. Right? Strong creative talent. You must have great storytellers, language nuances, right? And Malaysian humour cannot be automated. Benda ni kadang-kadang kalau kita cakap bahasa Malaysia, kita tahu lawak tu, kita sendiri boleh faham lah.
Inside jokes.
So but among ourselves we would know it. AI, if you program it, it won't come as natural as it is. So these are the things that we go back to. Why is it important to have that human connection? And also regulatory flexibility. CRM always continues to work with MCMC to modernize frameworks for content monetization, digital rights and talent development. I think this is something that for everybody who wants to know about this industry, yes, we all know that there's a thing called 3R, right? There's the 3R regulation that traditional media industry for radio, TV, print media is always well regulated, self-regulated. Digital platforms is pretty much hard to regulate because it's a global platform. Now, this is something that MCMC is working hard on it because it's important. Malaysian, we have regulation that we have to look after each other lah. Religion, race, and royalty. We have to respect all that. We cannot just simply talk about anything and everything and get away with it lah. Because the power of media is when you influence and try to say something, people react to it very quickly. Kan?
There's always reaction to every action.
The voice, the power of voice is also important. So it has to be really careful when we do this lah. So that's important. And the next 5 to 10 years, I personally cannot deny that AI is here and how you do it is important. You have to do hybrid roles. You have to adapt to it. I may not understand it as much as everyone that's listening, but there's no experts in AI yet. Just like anything else. You learn from it, right?
Yes.
AI is learning from you as well. So we have to take control of it, but make sure that it doesn't run our lives lah. But it makes us more efficient. So if radio is going to continue to serve, then we have no choice but to adapt. How? I mean, there's many ways to do it. The MPA we already have AI DJs and more. We will have AI automation and all that, but there's things that AI cannot do, like
Yes.
on-ground activation, connection with people, doing concerts. Maybe you boleh letak screen kat belakang tu, letak AI punya image lah, but still people love to have that connection at a concert apa semua. So benda-benda macam tu. So that's one of the things that we always have to be aware of. Don't be scared of change. Change will always happen. But radio started way before TV pun.
Indeed.
But it survived when TV came in, right?
Yes.
Then came with all the CDs, came with the streaming and all that. We still survive that.
Yes.
The natural conversation is important. Yes, semua orang boleh buat lagu.
Betul.
You like your own playlist, you can go to Spotify, YouTube, you boleh buat select pun.
Betul.
But what's important is your voice.
Indeed.
What goes in between the songs. How are you connecting to me that I want to listen to you? What are you talking to me about that is important to my life that I'm willing to stop and listen? Capture my attention. That is the key. So if you don't capture my attention, then it's like, okay lah, I move on lah. Right? Everybody has their lives to go back to.
Betul.
They have so many things to do in a day. I'm sure this is not one of the things yang macam will take up my time. But if it's important to me, I'll listen to you. But how are you going to make sure that I listen to you? So that's always key lah. You have to listen to that lah. So that's why it's important for us to always think about, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to serve every day, every minute, to ensure that people listen to you, make sure it's the most important thing that you want to hear.
Betul.
And keep doing it.
I see.
InsyaAllah.
So technically, it's like, we have to make sure, like, our time and also our session is worth their time.
Yes.
Yes. Like, in order for them to actually listen, we have to make sure it is something that is worth it for them to pay attention to, for them to put aside the other things to listen carefully to our session.
Yes. What is the value to me? What value are you give to me today if I'm listening to this session? So benda-benda macam tu lah. So if I'm doing this today and gives value to someone, I've done my job. Then tomorrow, what will I do tomorrow? So everything is a value
Indeed.
that you put out, right? Make sure it's worth my time.
Betul.
So if you want to give something that is knowledgeable, benda yang I can take home and say that, okay, this is new knowledge for me, then I will move on and take that and improvise what I can do in the future. Something that I did not know about. If it's something that is much more technical, like, okay, how do I, do my savings? Kan? Benda-benda macam ni kadang-kadang is like, yeah, I have money, but how do I save? How do I invest?
Betul.
So people want to know that. So where do I get that? Who's going to give it to me? So this is something that if it's your niche and your expertise, then do it. Then make sure that it's important and you know how to connect.
Betul.
That's very important. That human touch is irreplaceable lah. Tapi benda-benda technical apa semua, I think AI apa semua, you just put it through. Even scripts pun boleh buat.
Betul.
But,
like,
kan?
if we were to talk just normal things, there's something general, it would be better to use AI to talk about something that is general.
Betul.
Like, if you are going to talk about something that is normal, that is not interesting, it's better to just utilize the AI technology.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah. So, but there's a lot of things that you cannot replace with AI.
Yes, indeed.
But there's a lot of things also that can be replaced with AI. But how do you complement and make it hybrid into your daily life?
I see.
That's the question.
Indeed.
And only every individual out there knows the answer, like even myself. How do I do it? How do I implement my work so that I'll be more efficient?
Yes.
InsyaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Mr. Nazri. And with that, let's end our special session today. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank to you, which is Mr. Nazri Noran, for participating in this session. So Alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for those who are listening to this. And if you didn't manage to listen, you can always look up to our YouTube channel for our recording session. So with that, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
To our listeners, keep tuning in to IIUM FM, your campus radio. Bye.